Welcome to Tiny Spaceship's Flyby of Abzu. Today we're going to be diving deep underwater and exploring a journey-like game. I have with me my co-pilot here, Miguel.
Hello.
And so just to kind of introduce the game to you guys, Abzu is developed by Giant Squid Studios. That studio is has a lot of members, or a few members of it, who actually came from that game company, the game that developed Journey. To those familiar with Journey, obviously that you've probably heard about this game. It is heavily inspired by Journey. The thematically, stylistically, all of that. It is beautiful. And I'll just to kind of put a bow on this right now. If you liked Journey, if you were a fan of Journey, if it holds a special place in your heart like it does for me and like it does for many people, stop watching this right now. Don't watch another second of this video. Go out and buy Abzu. It's $20. It's a fantastic game for that price. It's basically a spiritual successor to Journey in a lot of ways, and it is really well done. And if you like Journey, you're going to love Abzu. So if that's what you came here to find out, you're done. Get out of here, go play it. But to everyone else, let's start talking about the game here. So it's an underwater adventure game, and as such, you control a character here. You can kind of swim around. The controls are a little odd. Right mouse button swims you, and you can go in any direction, do little flips and twists.
I'm assuming they have controller support as well?
Yes, they do, and I believe it's actually recommended that you play with a controller, but
Okay.
I'm a sick person, and I prefer to play mouse and keyboard for everything.
Well,
and you can do a little boost, and you swim almost like you're kind of a plane. You have like a pitch, and you have yaw. There's no real rolling, but it is really fun, and so it kind of throws you into it. We're not quite in the very beginning of the game, but we're pretty early on. It just kind of throws you into this world, and you can see as you kind of swim out here that
it's very pretty.
it's very, very pretty. These worlds are populated with immense amounts of sea life.
It's a lot of fish.
It's a lot of fish, and what's really interesting is though obviously there's a lot of creative liberties here, they are all actually based off of real fish that do exist.
Huh.
And I think one of the criticisms you could give this game is that there isn't really anything to do necessarily. You can progress, sure, and there's like a very small amount of collectibles. But there really isn't much else to do, and Journey was sort of similar, but this kind of takes it to the next level, in my opinion.
By next level, you mean... what?
It has even less to do. Journey had glyphs you could collect. It had much wider areas you could explore. The areas here, though, they typically are fairly large. Like, this one's fairly large. Ultimately, there's no real reason to explore every nook and cranny. But it is a beautiful game, and the soundtrack again is done by Austin Winery, the same composer who did Journey soundtrack. So it sounds similar, but it also still evokes that absolute emotion that Journey evoked for me. So here we have basically a statue. It lets you meditate.
So what was that thing that shot out of you?
Oh, okay, yeah. So let me actually exit this here. We'll get back
So
to
many
that
questions.
in a sec. I know. I'm jumping ahead. You can chirp, and yeah, it's just
so like in Journey.
Oh, and I accidentally chirped myself back onto the statue. Yeah,
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Premature chirping.
They make pills for that now, I think.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So yeah, it is a lot like Journey. You can chirp, you can hold it to let out a longer chirp. It is the only form of communication in this game.
Can you chirp at other people?
There are no other people in this game. This is a single player game. The closest you can get, and I'll show you over here, is you can find these little robo buddies. Or row buddies for short. That's actually not what they're called. They have no name. Much like everything in this game, everything is nonverbal.
Much like the horse I rode through the desert on.
Yes, exactly. How dare you?
He's a cute little guy.
He is. He's adorable, and if I chirp, he'll chirp back.
Oh,
if I do a double chirp, he'll double chirp back.
That is just
Can
precious.
he give me 3?
He can.
He'll give me 3. It's, he's a cute little friend. I will say there is something missing about not having another real player in this game.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't know about you, but for me, Journey was like this absolutely like
Journey.
strong emotional connection I made with like a random stranger where we traveled through something together, and I have no idea, woman, man, old, young, I know nothing other than the fact that we both enjoyed this journey that we went on, and I don't know, that's something that's like really corny and cheesy, but has always really stuck with me. I absolutely love that game, and I do think that this game is a lot lonelier being without it. But also in a sense that might make it more appropriate, because this game kind of has a lonely atmosphere to it. You know, you start in these kind of shallows, these shoals, and it's teeming with life. And, you know, as you go on, you do go deeper and deeper, and it gets lonelier and lonelier in a sense. So I'm not sure if that was a creative decision, a technical decision, but it is interesting. You know, here you can kind of make friends. I can grab onto this guy here and go for a ride.
So are you controlling the fish, or is he just going off wherever he wants to?
I am controlling it, though it seems like they do sometimes kind of have a little bit of a mind of their own, but they will kind of go with what you say. I can make them do a little spin. Yeah. It's sort of a faster way to get around. Not that you necessarily need to go around faster. It's sort of one of those things that's really neat and cute, but you're kind of going to do it once or twice, and probably not a whole ton more. But it is really cool. But to kind of get back here, so yes, I have my tonal chirps, and I can make my little buddy chirp, and that's also how you interact with things, is you chirp at them. So if I go ahead and rest on this here, I can enter meditation, and meditation is, and yes, it's sort of sitting down and meditating, kind of like Journey. A wahoo, which is actually a real fish. And I can look around to the different fishes. So this is a sunfish, and those are again our real fish. Kelpfish. And again, you know, vibrantly and probably modeling, they probably took a little bit of liberty, but actually they are all, and I've looked at a lot of these are all very close to reality for what these fish actually look like, which is actually pretty cool. So there's a real fish called a golden trevally, and it looks pretty much like this. And all of the animals are like this. There's a part later in the game I don't want to talk about without spoiling. I'm not sure if those are real, but they could be. And it is, that part's actually really cool. And you can sit here and watch. You know, I can watch this silky shark maybe eat a fish if he's a predator. I don't know if this guy. I mean, I'm sure he's a shark, right? All sharks are predators, right? I don't actually know.
Not all sharks. Hashtag.
Oh, okay. Well, see, look at me being prejudiced.
This guy's just he's minding his own business.
Nope,
never mind.
Nope.
There,
Nope, there
he's
he
hungry.
goes.
There he goes.
So I mean, you can do this, and again, it's relaxing. I would love for this to be a screensaver somehow. I don't know if it necessarily has a lot of weight, you know, gameplay wise, but it is pretty, and it is a good way to show it off. And there are also a lot of really creative creatures, so it's a really good way to look at that. Other than that, and again, this is a very short game. It's less than 2 hours to play from beginning to end. It's a $20 experience. It might even be arguably a little overpriced for its duration. It has a little bit of replayability, though not a ton. There isn't a whole lot more to that. There's some puzzles in the game, some very, very basic puzzles to progress through the
Wait, could you
world.
go back? Go back. I saw some glowing thing on the ground to the left. A little up behind the pillar.
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a I forget what they're called. Maybe a seabed or something. I've already activated this. Unfortunately, I've actually activated all of them because I am a achievement hunter, and I did a 100% run on this game because I absolutely loved it. You'll find these scattered throughout the world, and if you go up to them and chirp at them, you'll basically release animals into this world, into this area. I believe this actually released the silky sharks. And it
so all
really
those
serves,
fish's blood's on your hands. I see.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm basically responsible for this once happy herbivore environment being turned into a carnivorous wasteland.
Well, everyone needs a final solution, I guess.
Oh, jeez. So this... Good lord.
I'm sorry.
So this... those things are really kind of optional. You're never required to do it. I love these manatees because they're so lazy. They've got algae growing all over them.
Wait, what? Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
That fat little guy.
And again, there really isn't a whole lot to this game. You're gonna progress. You're gonna learn a little bit about the story, which again is told kind of non-verbally through hieroglyphics.
Oh, sounds familiar.
Yeah, there are a lot of elements here. The art director came over from that game company. Austin Winnery, the composer, is here as well, and another game designer is an advisor for Giant Squid. So you can really see that obviously their inspiration is here.
I'm assuming Giant Squid's the game company that made it?
Yes,
Okay.
And a creature in this game.
Ah, how fitting.
And so, you know, I wish I could tell you more about this game, but there's already so little of it, I don't want to give away too much. I definitely say it's worth checking out. If you were a fan of Journey, I'd say it's worth checking out now. If you weren't, it's probably worth waiting for a sale, as I'm sure it will happen. It is easily, without a doubt in my mind, 100% a $10 game. It is not so sure a $20 game, to be honest, from my perspective. It's very short. It's targeted to a very specific group of people for $20. For $10, I'd say, you know, it's charming. It is absolutely beautiful to look at. Visually, it's astounding. The soundtrack, as you can probably tell a little bit from this, and this is very tame, is beautiful. The sort of action sequences, if you would, are breathtaking. But because there's so little of it, I don't even want to show you one of those. I really would like everyone who's interested in this game to experience it themselves. If anyone feels slighted by that because they listen to me, they buy it, and then they say, "Oh, this isn't as interesting as I thought," send me your PayPal. I will send you no money, and I will say I'm sorry.
Well, I'll be looking for that if I don't like this game.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to see necessarily in this area?
Can you do anything else with a robot?
You know, so there's so the robot, they really just serve one kind of purpose. It's not really a puzzle because it's kind of just the first thing that they do. You need at least one robot, and generally areas have multiple, although you don't need more than one for most areas. Again, it's kind of odd, the choices sometimes, but you need a robot to get through this. So I chirp at this. He then takes his little things and he
just destroys wildlife. Nice.
Yeah, he just destroys the ecosystem. And then in here, I can swim through here, and this chain obviously is a part of the area that I need to get to the next place, and so I can chirp at this and twist this never-ending chain, which again looks really beautiful, but raises questions about the technology used here because this chain literally never stops moving, and it never unwinds. So you know, obviously. I can you know, go through that door and look over there, but you know that we best save what's behind that door for whoever wants to play this. You know, I don't want to show somebody 10% of the game.
Jeez. Well, that's fair.
So yeah, Abzu is a game developed by Giant Cloud. Or I'm sorry,
Giant Squid.
No, yeah, not Giant Cloud. Developed by Giant Squid. Thank you. It is $20. You can buy it on Steam. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Kevin, and
I'm a go.
Have a good one.